From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Kristina Evonne. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me chat to you today. So, can you let me know, how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
So I've been a singer-songwriter and performing for over 10 years. Um, I've done a lot of different genres. I started out in pop, and I really found a home in the Americana scene, especially with storytelling. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite genre to sing?
Oh, that's a really good question. I love jazz. I love singing jazz. Um, and that like lower range really seems to fit like my vocal well. And so I love that. I love jazz.
So, can you tell me, what was it like going into the recording studio when you recorded your very first debut album back in 2016?
Yeah, I can. So it's actually really fun. I grew up around music. My dad is my studio engineer. And so I remember I have a picture of my very first time being in the studio. I think I was wearing like a lime green shirt, and I had I think it was like a Johnson guitar, and it was just it was so fun. I remember I don't think I even played to like a drum track very first. We just wanted to capture kind of what I was hearing in my head for that very first record. It took a while to make, especially just because I was trying to find my sound, and it was really interesting because at the time I started recording it, my I was taking voice lessons, and so because the album took about 3 years to make, my voice had changed so much, like it had progressed so much that we had to re-record a lot of the vocals to before putting it out, and it was really fun. It was a really fun project. It's fun to go back and listen through and hear that progress. Yeah.
So, can you tell me more about Knock Down the Barrier?
Yeah, that song, I'm trying to remember. I know I released this on my debut album, but then I released it as a single later on. um that was really fun. We had some of my friends come in and sing the choir part at the very end, and it was just a really special song. I think a song about just wanting there to be love and connection between everyone, and creating a place of acceptance. And so that's what that song is about.
So you also released an EP, didn't you, called Winter Dreams? So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so that was I love the holidays. I love writing songs about the holidays. And I remember I was going to college at the time, and I was walking up on campus. I was surrounded by these pine trees and just walking, and I think it was snowing. And in my brain, I just imagined like this whole world of everything that it explores. I mean, I was thinking about the North Pole, really, is what I was thinking about. And I was also at the time going through some relationship things, and I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to keep writing about all these like breakup songs, because that's what I've been writing up to that point. And so I was like, I gotta write something fun. I need something to look forward to. And so I wrote this album and released it. Whatever year I released it, I don't even know my release years.
So going to be one a few years now. So can you tell me more about Tiptoes?
Yeah, Tiptoes. So that started into like moving into pop, right? It's fun because there's actually like we use the tap shoe as one of like the drums, because it was like Tiptoes, and so we're like, oh, we should, like, it'd be fun. And that was kind of me exploring that pop area and moving into that and trying to learn how to write a little bit more vulnerably. I think I'm doing that a lot better now, but you can start to hear that in those songs. Yeah.
So, can you tell me more about the album that you wrote in 2022 called Watch Me Walk Away?
Watch Me Walk Away was a very fun album. That was also, I'd say that was more up the pop realm as well. It was interesting because I had written a lot of songs that I wanted to write, but I felt like I had this whole album I needed to get out first. And that was Watch Me Walk Away. And I mean, that has a lot of like different relationship stories on that one. That has I think Watch Me Walk Away, if I remember, that's piano. It started out in the piano. I don't write as much on the piano now. But it was just exploring all these different sounds and really like learning how to write a song. And I remember it's actually really fun. So the cover of that album is a dress my brother made. He's a designer. He's an incredible designer. And I remember we were like, to go take a photo of this, we were walking, and he had, like, because the train is so long, he was carrying this bag that was just like full of my dress train as we're walking. And it became this the photo was taken at a bird refuge. And I really thought about what that album meant to me as kind of just finding my wings and flying as an artist. And that was something that really, like, that's what that album means to me.
So, can you tell me more about Growing Up is Weird?
Yeah. So I released that last year. Actually, this is still my pop in my pop realm, right? And I'd actually started playing around with learning production just a little bit. And I mean, I'm a sucker for synthesizers, right? I love them. I don't use them as much now, but I love them. And I played around. You hear that very first sound, that like do 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 do. That's my best impression of that sound. And I just, it's my midlife, not midlife, my quarter life crisis wrapped up in bubblegum pop. And just sorting through all these, like growing up is weird, and like just all these things that I was feeling. I'd missed my best friend's birthday. I'd forgotten to call her, and then like realizing like my parents are getting older and all of these things. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is a lot to navigate through. And so that was Growing Up is Weird.
So, I know you play the guitar, so on the piano. Do you play any other musical instruments?
I play the violin. There's a little on Run, actually. There's a few sparkling notes. I'm playing those. Guitar is my main instrument, guitar and voice. I dabble on the piano. I don't really play the piano, but I can get by if I need to.
So, can you tell me more about the single that is called Home?
Yeah. So my husband and I, we've been married about 2.5 years, and for a Valentine's Day present, I wanted to write him a song, because I would always go to these gigs and I'd be singing all these breakup songs, which is fine. But I was like, I'm singing these things. This isn't really how I feel. I feel like I'm in a, really safe and healthy relationship. And I think it's time to write about that. And so I started, I was actually learning to play the piano for another song, and I accidentally stumbled on like the first chord that you hear. And I was like, oh, I have to pause my practicing and use this chord that I just found. And the very first line is, a million years could never be enough. And so I was like, oh, I just ran with it, and I wanted to write kind of our story, and what happened, and the little fine details. I really love pancakes. There's in the chorus, there's a line that's like pancakes, eating pancakes in the kitchen, dancing on the week. I can't even think of my own lyrics right now, but it talks about pancakes. And just all these little details that are like pinpointed in my mind of our story. And every time I played that, someone will usually come up to me and be like, oh, like, I loved that song, like that was beautiful. And so that's been really special to feel people connect to that, even though that's such a personal story. That's home.
So could you tell me more about your latest single called Run?
Yes. Okay, Run. Run is my pride and joy. I love Run. I feel like I kind of floundered a lot on like, okay, what genre am I actually trying to write in? Right. You hear it through these my catalog. You hear singer songwriter and pop and all of these things. It's like, what is she doing? And I started exploring Americana more. I actually started exploring Americana after I saw a concert, and then I realized that because I love storytelling. And I realized that this genre really allowed for that, and it allowed that space. And then as you asked what I like to sing, I mean, I love jazz. And so I have this lower voice, right? Like, so glittery hills, right? I have this low, I'm not super warmed up this morning, but the genre really allowed my voice to shine. I felt like I was trying to fit my voice into like pop, and it doesn't really do that. And so that being said, I started exploring a little more in this genre. And at the same time trying to learn how to write better, more showing, not telling. And I grew up in a sagebrush town. And one of the lines is run away from far away from here, from this sagebrush town. And I feel like growing up in a small town, it can feel really easy to feel trapped, or like you're never going to get out and go where you want to. And all these feelings of feeling like I wasn't really where I wanted to be started culminating into this story. And so you hear that story in Run, and I just really the story just started flowing really, really naturally, which is pretty rare for me when writing a song. And so then that's what became Run. And I was a little nervous bringing it into the studio, because I was like, okay, I haven't done this style before, and I was really nervous to record like the vocals and try to get the drums and everything in line, so it was Americana. But I'm thrilled with how it turned out.
Yeah, because Americana is getting very popular in the UK, so you should write some more.
Yeah, I will. This next song is going to be it is Americana. It's like it's Americana through and through.
So I know you released some albums and some EPs. So you're going to release another album in the near future?
Yeah, I see. Probably I'll be releasing an EP first. Whether that's the end of this year or the beginning of next year, I'm not quite sure on that yet. My goal is to release an album by next June. That's my goal. We'll see how that goes, but that's the goal.
You could write Americana EP or an album, maybe.
Yeah, I think it will probably do an EP first and then an album.
So, have you got any gigs coming up you want to tell me about?
And any gigs?
Yeah,
I do. So in Logan, Utah, on August 9th, I'm playing the fair. I'm playing a full band gig, which is really fun. I haven't for my music, I haven't played a full band before, so that's gonna be really, really fun. There's also I'm waiting to hear back on a couple festivals, but that's the one that I know I'm doing.
you got any plans to go to Europe or the UK, maybe in the future?
Oh, I would love to. The moment I can, and I know, like I could go play a show there, I'll be there.
So, can you tell me, and my listeners, how's it been an independent artist for you?
That's a really good question. It's difficult. It's a challenge. There's the pieces of it that are really nice. There's a lot of creative control and being able to make all the decisions that I want. I can do whatever I want. It gets really tricky trying to do all the jobs of a team that a team would do as just one person. Like I've got my upcoming gig. My husband's actually playing in my band, and so there's a lot of people have photographers or a PR team or all kinds of different people on their team, and it gets tricky when it's like, okay, I've got to coordinate this all. This is me trying to figure out how are we going to film this music video? How are we going to track down a camera when we don't have one? Like, and it gets tricky. As an independent artist, I think you have to get creative. I think there's some really charming things, but it gets hard, and you have to get creative and you use your skills, and yeah.
So, finally, can you tell my listeners, where can I find you on your social media?
Yeah, so I'm everywhere on social media under my name, Kristina Evonne. That's Kristina with a K, Evonne, Evonne. And I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you like to stream music. My music is there worldwide, so you can hear it in the UK, you can hear it in America, you can hear it in Australia, wherever you are.
Thank you. Let me chat to you today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ruben. It's so nice to meet you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.